What is up? It's your boy Johnny SHREVE, IFBB Pro, and Mr. Tell Like It Is. Today we're diving into a crucial topic that can make or break your gains. And that's how long should you be resting in between sets. So what I want from this video, at the end of this video, you're going to be more efficient with your time. You're going to be able to make the gains you should be making, and you have a better understanding of how to train. Now, let's dive into it. Now, a couple things. Some of you guys are mixing up your rest times with different types of training stimulus. Some people are training for strength. Training for strength requires a little bit longer rest times. Training for hypertrophy or just trying to build muscle requires shorter rest times. And that's very crucial in the results of how you train. So we all know that in a day, set-wise, you should do anything between 3 to 12 sets, okay? Let's just say you're doing 12 hard sets. And let's just say that day in the gym, you decide, you know what? I'm feeling pretty crazy. I'm gonna do even more sets, all right? For the grand scheme of things, we're saying you've done 20 sets. 8 of them are warm-ups and 12 of them are hard-ass sets, okay? Let's just say you took 3 minutes for each one of your sets. You're like, why 3 minutes? Okay, let's put it this way. Let's just say you're training for hypertrophy, which most of you guys are. Your set is a minute. It should be around like 30 to 45 seconds, but let's say you put a set intensifier in there and you push that set to a minute. Woo, hard set. Damn, sweating the crazy, got a crazy pump. And you know what? I need to rest. And you rest for 2 minutes. All right? Your set takes a minute, rest for 2 minutes. It's 3 minutes. You do 20 sets. 20 sets times 3 minutes, which is an hour. Just making it clear for you guys. Like I did this to myself when I realized I'm like, you're in the gym way too long. Because I train really hard. Let's put it this way. Ain't nobody doing 20 hard sets of anything. Let's just be serious. So if you're doing 12 hard sets, then you're probably going to be required to rest a little bit. Let's just say like 2 minutes, okay? So putting it that way, you're even in the gym even less and less. So how are we in the gym? For 2 hours plus. Hey guys, check it out. Only 40% of you are subscribed to the channel. So help the channel out. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so the next time I drop a video, you'll be the first ones to get it. Back to the show. So how long you should be training for each type of training stimulus. Let's start off with, if you're training for strength, 5x5s, 3x5s, you're doing 90 to 95% of your 1 rep max, you're training heavy because you want to get strong, you should be resting 3 to 5 minutes. Why? Well, when you train like that, right, your central nervous system takes a little more time to recover than if you got a crazy pump in your bicep or your chest or your legs, regardless. So your body's going to need the rest required. So when it comes to it, 3 to 5 minutes allows your body to regenerate. Put it this way, make it very simple. If I grab the bar, bam, right? I got 90% of my 1 rep max on there. I'm doing a 5x5 and I'm boom, take it off. Boom. Boom. 3, 4, 5, boom, and you get up and your head's like, whoo, and your brain feels like kind of foggy and you're like, oh, not much of a pump you feel, but like you just lifted some heavy A weight. Your body needs 3 to 5 minutes to get back to baseline so that you can do the remaining 4 sets that you have, or the remaining 3 sets you have, or however many sets you're doing with that much weight for that many reps. That's how long your body takes to recover. Now, what happens if a rest too short? Well, here's the thing. Very simple. Your body doesn't recover enough. I don't allow my body to get into a place where I can be strong as heck again. Because when you're training for strength, we want to be strong every set. We don't want the reps to diminish. We don't have a rep range. You're not trying to train between 5 to 10 reps. You're trying to get a 5x5, a 3x3. You're trying to get those reps fast, or ballistic reps, or strong reps. Now, with the other side, what if rest too long? Well, resting a little longer isn't a bad thing. There are some studies done that it doesn't actually affect your ability to get stronger. What it does is it drags your workout very long. And if you got stuff to do, which I hope most of you guys have, you're gonna be late doing it. So if you want to be efficient with your time, resting 3 to 5 minutes for strength is required. And yeah, you can push it a little longer, but I would recommend to try and stay within that range, not wasting time resting like 10 minutes. So what about hypertrophy training? What about if I just want to build muscle? What about that? You're going 2 to 3 reps from failure or to failure. We want to make things very clear so we're not like, well, wait a minute, John, you didn't say failure. You didn't say that. We'll make it clear. Training for hypertrophy, building muscle, we want to lift around 30 to 85% of our 1 rep max. Your sets are 30, 45 seconds, maybe even a minute long. Your rep range is anything between 8 to 30 reps. And we're taking these sets close to failure or even failure. So what's required? Well, the science says 30 to 90 seconds. Now, ain't nobody gonna be resting for 30 seconds, all right? 30 seconds is way too short. Now, if we're doing a warm-up set, yeah, 30 seconds not that bad. But if we're doing a set to failure or we're getting 2 to 3 reps from failure, we wanna rest 1 to 2 minutes. You can push it to 3 minutes, but I would recommend 1 to 2 minutes. And if you're like, well, I'm still not recovered, your heart rate is like flying out the window still, and it's not recovered yet, you maybe at the beginning of your training, push it to 3 minutes, which is fine. But what happens if you rest too short? Well, a couple things. If we rest too short, it's gonna impede our ability to perform at the best that we can. We wanna be able to put in the most amount of tension and training stimulus with each set to set. So if my rep range is 10 to 15 reps and I get in there and I'm coming 2 to 3 reps of failure and I get maybe like 12 reps, and then I decide I rest, I don't know, 30 seconds and I get in there and I get 6 reps. Well, what happens? The longer we are under tension, the more muscle we can build. If someone says more hypertrophy happens, means like the expansion of muscle cells, the expansion of the glycogen or the fluid around the muscle. That happens in that environment a lot more when we can take those sets longer. The shorter those sets are, yeah, you can stimulate muscle growth, but it's not going to be as effective or as efficient. So we want to rest in that nice sweet spot so we can continue to keep tension. Now, what happens if you rest too long? Well, unlike training for strength, if we rest too long, we're actually blowing it. The properties to building muscle means, very simple, that you need to take the load that is a moderate weight and put it under tension for a long time, because the longer the duration of the set, the more the tension rises. Unlike when you're training for strength, there's already tension on the muscle right away. It's heavy. If I got bench and if I'm doing bench and bam, I pull it out and I'm doing, I don't know, 315. I can't do 315 that much anymore. I could probably maybe get 2 reps before I used to be able to do 10 to 15 reps. God, it's been so long. Anyway, so if I get, 315, I lift it off the bench, boom, unrack it, that's heavy. Right away, tension is high. If I'm training to build muscle, the tension when I unrack it isn't that high yet. It increases as the duration of the set increases. So the longer that set goes with that moderate weight, the more muscle hypertrophy or the more muscle I'm able to build. We want that. Oh, you're getting up there, it's like 45 seconds, you feel a massive pump, you're like, oh my gosh. You put up, bam, you rack it like, oh, my chest. Or you did like maybe the chest fly set, or I don't know, whatever you did. You feel the pump, you're like, oh, jeez, it burns. I feel that way sometimes, all the time actually when I train. It's a great feeling. I love the feeling. Need to be addicted to that feeling. And I get that great feeling, and then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a rest and take a 1 to 2 minute rest, and all of a sudden I pick up my cell phone and texting, buddies of mine or something. I don't know. That rest time ends up being like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And it does happen. Trust me on that. Some of y'all are guilty of resting for like 5 minutes when you're training for hypertrophy or training to build muscle. What happens? Well, guess what? The tension dies down more and more. The reason why we want to rest between that 1 to 2, maybe pushing 3 minutes, is because it's a shorter rest time, because the load we're using isn't like training to build muscle. The load we're using here is more moderate. So when we rest a little shorter, that allows you to start the next set with tension higher than it was before. So set to set to set, the tension is continued and is greater and greater and greater, which will result in more muscle hypertrophy or more muscle building. That's why we need to rest in between that 1 to 2 minutes, maybe pushing 3. Remember I said that. Now, what about like set intensifier? Because I know that's going to be a question here and there. That's going to be like, what if I'm doing like drop sets, supersets, rest pause sets, mile match reps? What do I do? Well, studies have shown that we should be resting anything between 30 seconds to like a minute. Now, there's a couple different training methods that have you resting a little shorter. Now we're talking about like, say like a rest pause or a mile match. You're resting a little shorter, like 10 to 15 seconds. And that makes a lot of sense, because when we're doing set intensifiers, you're not doing a set intensifier when it comes to strength. Set intensifiers is a training technique for building muscle, not for getting stronger. Don't mix it up. So when we're doing rest pause or a mile match, there's like that 10 to 15 seconds to continue to make sure that the tension is high. But when we're doing like, say like a superset, 30 seconds to a minute is optimal. Why? Well, a couple things. If I'm doing a superset of like chest and back, and I do my first set of chest, bam, and then I go and do back right after, like I just jump over to back in like 10 seconds, what do you think is gonna happen? One of those is gonna lack. Something is not gonna get the most it can out of that set, and it's gonna be the one that has the least amount of rest time. And we can say the same for doing unilateral exercise, basically doing one side at a time. So if I'm say doing dumbbell rows on one side, I should probably rest anything between 30 seconds to a minute, right? Lunges on one side, bicep curls, you get what I'm saying. When it comes to like drop set, superset, you're looking at 30 seconds to a minute. And that's gonna give you that good sweet spot with that type of set intensifier. And I guess, again, the caveat to the other types of set intensifiers, rest, pause, mile match, we want to have those little bit more shorter rest times because, again, we're trying to increase the tension on the muscle. We're trying to elongate that set by using those set intensifiers. So, to wrap things up, when we're training for strength, longer rest times help you to fully recover so you can lift heavy again, 3 to 5 minutes. Train to build muscle, we want to rest anything between 1 minute to 2 minutes, pushing 3 if you need that, so we can fully recover and perform the best we can for our next set while keeping tension high for each set after set after set. And if we're doing set intensifiers or like unilateral work, training one side first and the next side after, you want to rest anything between like 30 seconds to a minute. Short period of time to elongate the set, to increase tension, but still give you enough time to perform at your best. So I hope this makes things clear for you guys. Hope this makes things a lot easier for you and a lot more efficient in the gym, so you get home to your girlfriends, to your boyfriends, your wives, or whatever, and not gonna wonder why in the gym so long. You're like, look, check it out, man. I went to Johnny's channel the other day, watch his video, and guess what? Now I got more time for you, baby. You'll thank me later. Anyway, guys, hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know, become all that tell like it is, transparent, vulnerable truth. And for all things coaching, for all discount codes or promo codes that will save your life or change your life for the better, hit the description below. So make sure you guys add me on Instagram and TikTok. Send me your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips. And I'll repost it for you because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace. First name greatest, 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 greatest.